It was a foggy night in Gotham City, and the bat signal lit up the sky like a guiding star. Batman stood atop Wayne Tower, the city sprawling below him like a shimmering maze itself. Just then, his encrypted communicator beeped, and the message from Commissioner Gordon revealed itself. It was from the Riddler, as cryptic as ever. Solve my maze, or Gotham pays. The message concluded with a set of coordinates to a deserted warehouse on the outskirts of town. Without a moment to waste, Batman fired his grappling hook, soaring into the night with his cape billowing like the wings of a great bat. By the time he reached the warehouse, the moon hung high, casting an eerie glow over the crumbling building. Batman approached cautiously, his senses heightened. Inside, the warehouse was dimly lit, with only a few flickering bulbs dangling from the ceiling. In the center was a massive maze fashioned out of towering walls of steel. From somewhere deep inside, the Riddler's taunting laughter echoed. "Feel free to get lost, Batty." "Oh, and did I mention there's a time limit?" Batman was not one to be intimidated. With a deep breath, he launched himself into the labyrinth, using his detective skills and high-tech gadgets to navigate the twists and turns. Left here, right there, he followed the subtle clues left by the Riddler, always keeping an eye on the timer. At one point, a wall slid open, revealing a room filled with smoke. Batman paused, realizing it was a trap. Deploying his smoke filtration mask, he moved forward, undeterred by the tricks and deception. Minutes ticked by, and just as the clock was about to run out, Batman found himself at the heart of the maze. There, on a pedestal, lay the Riddler's latest contraption threatening the city. With nimble fingers and a brilliant mind, Batman disabled the device, stopping the countdown at the last possible second. The Riddler's voice crackled over the speaker system, sounding both amused and frustrated. "Well played, Dark Knight. But next time, I'll have a puzzle even you can't solve." Batman stood silently as the warehouse's silence returned, the maze now nothing more than a monument to the Riddler's defeat. As he left, he knew one thing for sure. The Riddler would be back, and so would he. Once upon a time in the bustling city of Gotham, known for its towering skyscrapers and mysterious nights, the city's protector, Batman, found himself on a new mission. A clever villain known as the Riddler had scattered chaos throughout the city. After days of chasing clues, Batman arrived at an abandoned warehouse located on the outskirts of Gotham. However, the warehouse wasn't just any ordinary building. It was the entrance to a massive labyrinth. As Batman stood at the entrance, the dim light from the night bathed the labyrinth walls in an eerie glow. Each wall was lined with riddles, inscribed in luminescent ink. These riddles were not just mere words, but keys to pathways within the labyrinth. Batman knew that solving these riddles was crucial, for a wrong answer could spring deadly traps concealed within the maze. Batman, with his sharp intellect and years of battling foes, began the daunting task. The first riddle read, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Batman pondered, tapping into his vast knowledge. "An echo," he said confidently, as he took the right pathway. Step by step, Batman navigated through the maze of riddles. His cape brushed against the dusty ground, and his boots echoed with determination. The challenges grew trickier, with riddles like, "I am taken from a mine and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" A moment's pause, and a confident whisper answered, "Pencil lead." Though Batman continued to solve each riddle, the stakes grew higher. Every corner of the labyrinth seemed alive, full of anticipation to catch him off guard. Yet, his nerves of steel never faltered. His mind, sharp like the blade of justice, kept moving forward, riddle by riddle, until he finally saw a faint light flickering ahead. The end of the labyrinth. He had done it. Batman emerged victorious, having outwitted the Riddler's cunning challenges. Behind him, the labyrinth lay silent, its purpose defeated by the perseverance of one man who saw through the entity of darkness with sheer brilliance. With a mission successful, Batman informed Commissioner Gordon and ensured the Riddler's schemes were foiled. Once again, Gotham slept soundly beneath the watchful eye of its Dark Knight, a hero who could untangle even the most intricate of mazes to protect those he vowed to keep safe. Batman was navigating through a complex labyrinth filled with shadows and echoes. The dim lights flickered ominously, as if they knew the night belonged to him. His cape fluttered quietly behind him, brushing against the cold, stone walls. Just when he thought the path was beginning to clear, he heard the unmistakable chatter of a group of armed thugs. "Looks like we have company," Batman whispered to himself as he swiftly assessed the situation. With a flick of his wrist, he sent a small drone soaring into the air. The drone's infrared vision revealed 6 armed men, scattered but clearly aware of his presence. "Okay, let's do this," he muttered under his breath. He tapped into his utility belt and pulled out a line launcher, zipping silently across the room to gain a strategic advantage. The first thug never saw it coming. Batman dropped silently behind him, disarming him with a swift move. He knocked him out with a precise chop to the neck. His movements were fluid and calculated, each action precise. When the second thug turned to fire, Batman swiftly threw a batarang, disarming him and following up with a stunning kick. Meanwhile, the remaining 4 thugs attempted to encircle him, but Batman was always one step ahead. Using a smoke pellet, he created a screen of mist around him, confusing the thugs. Inside the cloud, Batman moved like a shadow. He subdued each thug with his advanced martial arts skills. The gadget-enhanced gauntlets helped deflect their attacks and neutralize them in swift succession. Finally, only the leader of the group was left standing. The leader hesitated, glancing nervously around for his fallen comrades. Batman appeared before him like a dark phantom. "Leave the maze and never come back," Batman warned, his voice low and menacing. The leader dropped his weapon, eyes widened in fear, and fled down the maze's winding path. Batman watched him disappear into the shadows. "Another victory for justice," he murmured, continuing his journey through the maze. The city awaited, and Batman was ready to protect it. In the heart of Gotham City, where towering skyscrapers reached for the sky and busy streets bustled with life, a new mystery was brewing. The Riddler, known for his perplexing and puzzling schemes, had struck again, teasing the denizens of Gotham with his enigmatic games. His latest creation was a massive maze that entrapped the city's keenest minds, leaving everyone bewildered and baffled. But amidst all the confusion, there was one person who remained suspiciously observant, hoping to uncover the truth behind the Riddler's facade. Meet Ben, an 11-year-old detective in training, with a mind sharp as a tack and an insatiable thirst for uncovering clues. He lived just outside Gotham, in a quaint little house filled with books on mysteries, puzzles, and detective stories. One day, as Ben was helping his mother clean the attic, he stumbled upon an old magnifying glass once owned by his grandfather. Inspired by the relic, he decided to put it to use immediately. In the news that evening, reports of the massive maze were all over the television. Citizens of Gotham were frantically trying to solve it and bring the renowned Riddler to justice. Just then, Ben's eyes gleamed with newfound excitement as he noticed something peculiar in the broadcast. Hidden within the patterns of the maze was a message, a clue that wasn't visible to the untrained eye. With determined curiosity, Ben decided to head to Gotham Central City that very night. Upon reaching the city, the glistening maze was even more imposing in real life, with towering walls decorated with riddles and symbols. But Ben wasn't interested in the maze itself, he was after something much bigger. With his grandfather's magnifying glass in hand, He scanned the structures until he spotted another cryptic message buried beneath the layers of confusion. The real game lies beneath, at the station. Ben's heart thumped like a drum in his chest as he put the pieces together. The maze was simply a diversion. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he rushed to Gotham Central Station, knowing time was of the essence. Inside the station, Ben found the Riddler waiting, with his sinister smile intact. The villain hadn't expected young Ben, an inconspicuous prodigy, to find his way here. Just then, a faint ticking sound filled the room. Ben quickly located a hidden panel behind an old clock. With his quick thinking and agility, he managed to disarm the bomb, averting disaster for Gotham. The Riddler, stunned and defeated, was apprehended by the arriving authorities thanks to Ben's courage and unyielding spirit. From that day on, Ben was hailed as a hero. The city of Gotham found an unexpected ally in the form of a young, intrepid detective, proving that even in a world of towering heroes, a small figure with a keen eye can make all the difference. In Gotham City, where shadows dance along the brick walls and the rain whispers secrets of a mysterious night, Batman found himself in quite a situation. The notorious villain, Riddlemaker, had trapped him in an enormous stone labyrinth. This wasn't just any maze. It was laden with riddles and puzzles that only the sharpest mind could solve. The maze walls seemed to stretch for miles, twisting and turning at odd angles under the dim light of the stars. Batman knew he had to act fast. There was only 1 hour before the Riddlemaker unleashed his most fiendish plan at the Gotham Central Station. Armed with nothing but his detective skills, a few gadgets, and his trusty grapple gun, Batman began his escape. The air was thick with silence, only broken by the occasional distant sound of laughter from the sky, as if the Riddlemaker's taunting echo urged Batman to falter. However, the Dark Knight was determined. He aimed his grapple gun towards the towering walls of the maze and fired. The hook shot out like an arrow, bearing itself securely into the top edge. With a determined leap, Batman swung upwards, resembling a majestic bat in flight. In one swift motion, he landed upon the labyrinth wall, his cape rippling in the night breeze. From there, his vantage point helped him spot the patterns and pathways that even the Riddlemaker couldn't hide. Racing along the tops of the walls, Batman ignored gravity as he vaulted, swung, and slid over each serpentine path. Time was ticking, and he knew every second counted. Suddenly, as he reached the center of the maze, another puzzle awaited, a massive stone door with a riddle carved into it. Batman paused only momentarily, his keen mind quickly deciphering the cryptic words. "What is keys but opens no locks?" the stone asked. Within moments, he whispered the answer, "A piano." The door rumbled open, granting him passage. With the way cleared, Batman fired his grapple gun once more, propelling him towards the exit. Emerging from the maze, he dashed to his Batmobile, speeding away into the thundering night. The station loomed ahead as the clock ticked down. Just in the nick of time, Batman arrived, disabling the Riddlemaker's device with moments to spare. Once more, Gotham was safe, and the Riddlemaker's laughter was replaced by Batman's stoic silence under the shimmering moon. In the dark, bustling heart of Gotham City, Batman was on another mission that required all his detective skills. The villainous Riddler had placed a bomb in the city's old train station, knowing well it was a hub of innocent, unsuspecting commuters. As always, the Riddler couldn't resist leaving a clue, a twisted riddle to lead the way. "Dear Dark Knight, solve this rhyme," or "TikTok goes the bomb." It's the one that never asks questions, yet it answers many. "What am I?" the paper tauntingly teased. Time was slipping away like sand in an hourglass, and Batman frowned in concentration. He scanned the station, seeing the anxious faces of people, unaware of the ticking danger beneath their feet. His mind raced with possibilities, much like how he darted through the shadows himself. He remembered Alfred once telling him during a friendly game of riddles, "You have all the answers, Master Bruce, right in your hands." Suddenly, it hit him. The answer to those words was an echo. It was the one that mimicked sounds, answering even when no one asked. The Riddler's riddles were getting more cunning, but so was the Dark Knight's brilliance. Armed with the solution, Batman swiftly moved through the labyrinth of old pipes and bustling sounds. Somewhere in its depths lay the bomb, ticking relentlessly. He followed the sounds of mechanical whirring, trusting his instincts and the paths his keen mind plotted. Finally, in a room piled with dusty equipment, there it was, a device crackling with ominous energy. But there was a bigger challenge. The bomb was protected by another layer, a digital lock mechanism that presented the final riddle. What flies without wings? Batman knew he must solve this before the clock's vicious ticking struck the deadly tone of 0. Without hesitating, he murmured, "Time." The lock clicked, accepting his answer, revealing the inner mechanics of the bomb. His hands moved deftly, cutting wires and adjusting pins as the digital timer burned away at the seconds. With skill and a calm that belied the pressure, Batman pulled the correct wires mere moments before detonation. The timer clicked off, the threat neutralized. He emerged from the station, mask stoic, but eyes carrying a glint of triumph. Gotham was safe, for now, but he knew the Riddler would return with another game. And Batman would be ready. In the dimly lit Batcave, the hum of computers echoed through the caverns. Batman sat attentively, eyes fixed on the massive monitor. Suddenly, the screen flickered and revealed the expansive grin and twinkling eyes of the Riddler, Gotham's trickiest villain. Wearing his signature green suit embellished with question marks, the Riddler's voice dripped with mischief. "Greetings, Dark Knight. Are you ready for another of my little games?" The Riddler taunted, his image larger than life on the screen. "With every corner of Gotham City as my playground, you'll have to be sharper than ever to find me this time," he chuckled, twirling his cane. Batman, with a steely expression, folded his arms. He knew the Riddler's games all too well. The stakes were always higher than they seemed. Each clue led to another, often wrapped in a twisted sense of humor that only the Riddler reveled in. "Your puzzles are tiring, Riddler, but your arrogance will be your downfall," Batman replied coolly. With a mock salute, the Riddler's face disappeared from the screen, leaving a flurry of green question marks dancing brightly before fading into nothingness. The Batcave plunged back into its serene darkness, yet the silence was heavy with the promise of a new chase. The Dark Knight knew that this battle was far from over. The Riddler relished his games, leaving breadcrumbs of riddles scattered throughout the city. It was Batman's dedication, intelligence, and unwavering resolve that would unravel the web of confusion. As Batman rose from his chair, his cape swirled with gravity, he made a solemn vow. "This time, Riddler, you won't slip away," he muttered to himself, heading towards the Batmobile. He knew Alfred would be ready, offering wisdom and guidance. Gotham City stretched out beyond the Batcave, a sprawling map of chaos and crime. But for Batman, every corner held secrets waiting to be unlocked. With the Riddler's mocking laughter still echoing in his ears, he'd chase down the villain. For that was the oath he took to protect the city at all costs. And so, Batman leaped into the night sky once more, determined, driven, and chasing the adversary whose mind games were as shadowy as Gotham itself.